Hello, everyone. Here we are live. So I just want to welcome all the members of the WOW Club. I am doing a series of interviews with our members of the WOW Club. All right, um, those whom we call the champions because they have been with our team. All right. For the past year or two, and we've been working together. But, I want to talk about my guest today. My guest today is Victoria McRay. And what I want to say about Victoria is that we met online. We met on one of those um, groups, retirement groups, and Victoria contacted me because she could see that I was an expat and she wanted to talk to me about expats. And so I contacted her. And when I contacted her, I had a poster behind me that was all about Tony Robbins's first launch. And she was very excited when she saw that. And because she loved Tony Robbins, we both love Tony Robbins. And we happen to both be in the knowledge industry, the self education industry. And so that's what got us unified. So, anyway, without further ado, I want you to meet Victoria. Victoria, how are you doing? So nice to see
I'm
you today.
fantastic. Thank you for the interview. This is going to be so much fun for me to
Well,
talk about the work I love.
absolutely. You and I are both in the knowledge industries, the self-education industry. So, who were just before you discovered the self-education industry, which changed my life, and it was all about self-education's the new norm with Tony Robbins. Who were you before that? Before you joined that industry?
Well, I had recently retired and loving life. You know how it is when you first retire. It's like, woohoo, I'm free. And so I was traveling all the time, meeting friends, just like this is going to be my life. And it was so lovely.
Yeah.
Well, after, about a year of that, you're like, okay, that has been great. And I still have more trips planned, but I can't live my life on a trip. It's going to be 30 years of this, right? Good Lord willing, there'll be 30 years of this, and we
Right.
can't do that for 30 years. So what I started doing was I actually started writing a book.
Okay.
And in the process of writing the book, I realized, hmm, I need a tribe. I need some pals. I need some friends, right? And that is how the whole thing started for me and how I ended up getting to eventually meet you.
Okay. So you had some desires back then. You still wanted to travel, but after a year of freedom, we kind of get bored, and we go into that another phase where we're filled with losses, the loss of identity, loss of work relationships, loss of routine. So what were your daily struggles like
Yes,
back then?
yes. Well, just kind of like what to do. I have a partner who has been retired for a long time,
Mhm.
and Michael, he retired when he was 40.
Oh, wow.
So he knows how to be retired,
Yeah.
right? And he would always say, I would say, "What do you do?" And he goes, "Whatever I want, whatever I want." And I'm thinking, okay, that sounds like fun. No. After about a year, because I had been an educator, I was a fitness instructor and an educator, right? And the thing is, I'm used to a routine, I'm used to a schedule, I'm used to like, let's get this done.
Right.
And I was really kind of at a loss for a bit of time. And that's when I saw you in that when we talked about the expat, I was just curious how expats feel and how you got to that place. And then I saw that banner behind you. And I had been working on the book, but the book I knew then I needed help. Like I was taking classes and things like that, but I didn't have a team. I didn't have a tribe.
Mhm.
And so when I saw what you had posted, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that might be something I find interesting." So I joined that challenge with you. Was it like a five? I forgot what they called it.
It
What
wa
do you?
it was a 3-day challenge, I believe,
3
at that
days. Yeah, yeah,
time,
yeah.
3
Oh
days.
my gosh, that was all it took, right? Because you're right. We do love to learn and we do love to share our knowledge.
Right.
And from this, I got a framework for what to do next, right? The next steps from Dean and Tony. And it
Mhm.
was just awesome. And then, if I may, your group. I had met you,
Mhm.
and you guys came up with I didn't know about WOW.
Yeah.
Well, the most beautiful thing was you took the learning we were doing every week. It was a weekly thing. And first it was 3 days. And then I joined the big challenge because it was so awesome. I couldn't
Right.
imagine not continuing that journey. So when I joined your team, then you guys just explained everything so beautifully in between the big training with Tony and Dean. You guys would say, break it down, because Tony and Dean aren't going to let you raise your hand and go, I have a question.
No way. I mean, they provide the framework and they provide the steps, but in between, especially for us, the older generation, it's like, wait a minute, and then comes the tech. So, what was the epiphany kind of that you experienced with this new opportunity that you discovered?
I have 7 affirmations that I live by.
Hmm.
And one of mine was, I knew what was going on with that book, and I knew that I needed a team and I needed a tribe. So one of mine was to find my tribe.
Okay.
And I had actually been in another group for book write, for writing
Hmm.
books, and it just wasn't as engaging and it just didn't really make me happy,
Right.
right? So, but I was still doing that on the side. But then once I started doing the work that we do, right, I started interacting with women, and I realized these women, a lot of women that are retired, they would say, oh, I've gained weight after menopause. I can't lose these 15, 20, whatever
Right.
pounds. Or they would say, I have to take high cholesterol medicine. And so I was noticing that I was just sending individual notes to women. They're going, "Oh, let me give you some. Let me tell you what I've done, and let me tell you some ways to do that. And it's not as hard as you think." And I was just sending notes about all different things. And then one day, with this kind of training that you guys were doing, I said, "Oh my gosh, this is my niche. This is my thing," because I could talk about this all day.
Absolutely, because you had knowledge, you had an expertise that all of a sudden you decided, oh my God, I can share this with other women, right? Oh my God, that was so. I know that having creating a business online is never an overnight success. People think, oh, get an online business and you'll have immediate success. You and I know that that's not so. We have to put the work in. But if you're going to put the work in, and I don't even call it work, I call it play work myself. The thing is that we have knowledge and we have expertise, and we should not go to the grave with these gifts. Do you agree?
I totally agree. I totally agree. I'm with you. I have so much fun doing this work. And
Mhm.
I wanted to say how cool it is, because my partner, who's been retired, like I said, for years, he says to me, "I'm so envious of what you're doing." And
Wow.
I'm like, "What are you envious of me for?" And he's
Right.
like, "You're so energetic. You love what you're doing. You're always talking about it. You're always engaging with people." And I'm like, "Wow, what a beautiful compliment." He didn't even know, but what a beautiful thing to know that someone envies the life we have, because we're
Right.
so engaged in our retirement years. These are the years when we can share what we know and have
Absolutely.
fun bonding with all kind of people and helping others. It's so beautiful.
You have a wonderful Facebook group now that you share your knowledge. I mean, was that the pivoting point for you when you decided, oh, you know what, I can, what made you decide to even create that group? Mhm.
I would have never done it. I'm serious,
Mhm.
never. I wasn't. I'm writing a book. I'm sitting home doing my own thing, right?
Mhm. Right.
Took Dean's class, and then I
Mhm.
worked with you guys, and it's like, you gotta have a Facebook group. And I'm like, "Oh my, I can't stand that kind of thing. I gotta get on there," and so literally, it's been a year. So a year ago, I had no women. I didn't even know how to set up a group. I didn't know how to I didn't know anything
I
except,
totally get it.
oh, it was awful.
Yeah.
But that was it. Once I started doing that and talking to those women, I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So I started adding more and more content. And in time, I built a nice sized group of women, because I do it one woman at a time. I'm not saying, "Hey, come to my group, a bunch of
Right.
people," because if they're not a good fit. But Lucy, it has been so beautiful, because so many of those women will send me notes. Now, a lot of women don't want to put themselves on, on a on Facebook
Right.
and say, "Look how much I weigh." But sometimes they'll send me a picture and say, "Here were my jeans before, here
Oh,
are my
wow.
jeans now." Or they'll say, "Here's my walking shoes." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you've got to get new shoes." Kind of, and I'm like, "We got to talk about this." So it has really just been a great joy for me and it's totally fulfilled me.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So you've had wonderful results with this Facebook group, right? You've been really impacting other people's lives, other
Yes.
women's lives. So,
Yes.
so tell me, what's your next goal?
Always something, right? And
Always
I just love
something.
it.
We are the
So
learning generation, are we
So
not?
I'm currently creating a webinar for the women in my group, and at the simultaneously, my work is called aging well with a healthy lifestyle, and I'm calling it the foundations for aging well is the whole workshop title, and then I'm just taking bits and pieces of it and putting that in webinar form and sharing that with my ladies because there's different aspects to it. It's not just like age well, okay, just get fit and you'll be fine. It's like, no, there's so many pieces, as you and I both know,
Right.
right? What if just so many things. And Lucy, the coolest thing is it's easier than people think. So if I just say, here's some easy, doable thing, and they're like, oh, well, I can do that. And you're like, yeah, why are you making this so hard? you
Right.
know,
And how would you say that the Launch Lab, the team has helped you with all of that? I mean, it's difficult to do anything alone,
so
online.
much, so much so much clarity, right? Like I said, once we did the training with Dean and Tony, and that was, I think, a 6 week block after we did the initial 3 days of, oh my
Mm,
gosh, this is exactly what I want. Then we did the 6 weeks, and you guys were with us every week. Well, it just continued. It's not like y'all said, okay, good luck, see you later. It was like, hey, are you ready for next steps? And we were all like, yes. What's the next steps? I'm ready for the challenge.
exactly.
And while we're doing that, we're growing. We're growing, um, and we're growing our friendships, our relationships, our tribe within the WOW community, right? We have the leadership team of you guys, and you guys bond with us beautifully.
Hmm.
I
So
love that. So we reach out to you and we reach out to each other. It's like, well, I know the leadership team is busy, so hey, who can
no
help me?
way. Yeah, no way. Yeah.
Lucy, it is the most beautiful tribe. And remember, that was one of my affirmations was to find a tribe that was of like-minded people. And I just feel so blessed. So, oh, I'm sticking with the wow.
That's great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, how does it make you feel and think about the world now? I mean, here we are in the last phase of our life, and we're both online, doing business online. We love sharing, our expertise and what we're doing. How does it make you feel about and think about the world?
I feel really blessed. I feel really blessed. And, it is such a blessing to be able to help other people, right? That is the biggest payoff is we get to help others and
Right.
serve them in a way that we never even thought about before because it wasn't my career. I was an educator, which I'm an educator now, but in a whole different form, right?
Always a teacher. Always,
Yes, yes.
always a teacher.
So
Right.
all that so that the beauty of it is I feel so blessed to share, and then I get doubly blessed when someone sends me a note and says, look at the gains I've made. And it is so much fun to
Yeah.
to do this, and I just feel like I just found my spot, right?
That's
Now, I have to be honest, when I travel, it's like I gotta work. And everybody's like, we're at this beautiful place with these. I'm
yeah.
like, I know, but just let me work a few hours.
Right.
And then they're like, how long are you gonna work? But they know I'm not gonna tell the truth because because
Yeah.
they'll be like,
Exactly, exactly. Okay, well, great. Victoria, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure working with you. I know that both of us are enjoying our retirement, and we're impacting people's lives. It feels so good, and I know that I'm speaking for both of us. So thank you for the work that you do. I know that you have changed people's lives, and I know that you've made even an impact on my life. So thank you for that. And I just want to encourage our audience to join the next free Time to Thrive Challenge by Tony Robbins. And do it by joining our Senior Wow Club because we're going to do the challenge together with you. We're going to learn together and we're going to share our experience as we go through this together because you, seniors, all of you, really matter and we can make a difference in this world. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye,
Lucy.
Victoria.
Bye.
Bye bye.